That's a doozy. Welcome, guys. I'm going to restart completely because we just had the audio was not working. Nobody comment down below. Comment down below if we got issues like that. Ladies and gentlemen, please do. So we are Expedition Homestead. Like I said, this is my second time doing this. Now that we got audio working good, I know we are all set. Expedition Homestead, what we do here on this channel is build your passion for growing through simple yet effective and affordable means of bringing better harvests to your garden and overall more beauty in your home and gardens as well. We try to make things simple here on the channel, and I'm glad that we're able to continue to produce some great content for you all. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I am now announcing that we're going to be starting weekly live streams here on the channel. We're going to hit for about 5 o'clock every single Thursday, so stay tuned for more and more live content like this. This will allow me to connect with you guys on a more personal basis, go through your questions, and check out what you are doing in your gardens as well. We'll also plan on sharing a couple of different channels here on the live streams as well, joining together and really having some great gardening fun. So if you have any questions, comment down in the section below. I will definitely get to them. We've got a little text bar that should pop up here, and then we got the live chat as well. So any questions you've got, please drop them down below. I would be more than happy to see what kind of questions you have. I was going through the website, but you guys did not have any audio, so we're just going to do it again. First, I have to pop us over into desktop here. expeditionhomestead.org. I want to let you guys know that we are building this. We are trying to make it a good-looking, functional website. We're still in the progress of tweaking a couple of different things, but we are almost there. So check it out if you haven't already. expeditionhomestead.org. Expedition Homestead, sharing our passion for growing. So here at Expedition Homestead, we build your passion for growing through simple, effective, and affordable methods of increasing your harvest at home and bringing more beauty to your gardens. We've created over 450 videos. It's now at about 480 videos, building a fast-growing community of local gardeners as well. We're an enthusiastic family of 5 working to continuously share our experiences with those around us. Then I go through a little bit of our history on the channel. Feel free to check this out later. And on the website, we also have a sign-up section. We are looking for local gardeners or even gardeners throughout the globe that want to share their story on the channel. I would be more than happy to see what we've got going on and see what you guys have going on. This is a chance for you to share your gardens here on Expedition Homestead. We got a blog section. We've got 1 post so far. We're working on creating more, so that's exciting. Then you can always go to our video section here on expeditionhomestead.org. Instead of going over on YouTube, you can also do this. So it's conveniently located right into the menu. And then here again, we advertise, do you want to be featured on the YouTube channel? Please check that out if you are interested in that and it sounds interesting to you. Meet the team section. We talk a little bit about what we want to do in the next few years. We've got some advantageous goals, but I definitely think they can be met. We want to establish community gardens in local towns and villages, revamping the school district's backyard programs, and then building a community resource center for new gardens. That's our goal. We want to, by 2032, get a lot of that established and running properly. So we'll see how we do there. Get to know us. This is me, Ripley Sartain. I started this YouTube channel about 6.5 years ago, probably almost 7 years at this point. And what I do here is I share my passion because I absolutely love making these videos for you all. I love making the content, so I'm just hoping that these live streams can create a new way where we can connect together on a different level. Thank you, Jason Campbell. Audio is coming through again. So that is me. My wife, Caitlin Sartain, She's our quote unquote design lead, so she helps with the aesthetics of the channel and website, and she's got a good eye for that kind of stuff. So she gives her feedback, and then I make the adjustments that are needed, to all the thumbnails and the colors that we use to try and make things uniform. Then we got Emily K here. She's our account acquisitions manager. I think we're going to rename that to customer relations manager, or client relations manager. What she does is she reaches out to companies now at this point, and we try and get tours of them here on the channel. So hopefully we will have a few of them coming this fall for you, and then many, many more for the rest of the season. Even if we could get to some indoor aquaponics center during the winter months to give you a tour of those and check out some awesome businesses that have got this stuff running too. That's what Emily does here now in the organization, is she reaches out to them, she makes contact with them, and she scouts the different places in the state that we want to visit and different people that we could have as guests on the channel here at Expedition Homestead. So lots of cool stuff going on there as well. And then we have a contact page if you ever need to send email regarding whatever you might want to talk to us about, if it is having to deal with a sponsorship, a video tour, anything like that, or even if you got a question or suggestions for some future videos instead of just commenting on YouTube, you can also use that contact us section. I'd like to get into contact with a few of you guys. Please send over whatever questions you got there. So yeah, that is the channel website. And now let's talk about our other thing that we now adapted here on the channel. We just enabled partnerships and also memberships on the channel. So partnerships, we're trying to work with different companies in the space, starting out local, starting small, and then expanding out from there on. So reaching out to the smaller companies in the state first to see if they would like to be partners on the channel. And then we also opened up memberships for you guys. What memberships is that allows you to directly support the channel through a monthly paid tier. That monthly paid tier is going to get you a couple of different cool benefits as well. You can get special secret emojis that only you have access to during the live streams. And since, again, we're doing one of these every single week now, that's going to be a cool way to stand out there in the chat. And then I can also know who it is supporting us, as well as that comes through the back end of YouTube, of course. But, it's just a cool way to interact with the community through those emojis. And then you've got access to a couple of different things as well, such as one-on-one meetings with me, or consultations, or just, to have a phone call about whatever it might be if you need some help in your garden. That is also included in one of the membership levels there. I was also saying earlier, sorry if my voice is very raspy, got phlegmy throat, not feeling too good, but I definitely wanted to get on here to do the live stream for you because I got to start it. We're doing it every week, every Thursday at about 5 o'clock. So I hope it goes great. I think it will. It's a great way, again, to connect with you guys as a community. So if anybody has any questions, we got 3 of us here. Please drop them in the section below. Whatever it might be that you want to talk about, let us know. Just comment, hit the thumbs up button, and also make sure you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, thank you so much for watching this video. Otherwise, subscribe, like, comment, do all of the things, all of the cool YouTube stuff for the algorithms. It would be greatly appreciated. Let's get some chat going through. I hope you guys are all doing great today. The gardens are doing well. We're just about ready to get into our fall crop plantings. That includes all of our brassicas, kohlrabi, our root crops as well, beets, carrots, radishes, turnips. All that stuff will be going in within the next week here in the backyard. We'll be putting those in our raised garden beds. If you're not too familiar with the channel, we grow a lot of our vegetables in raised garden beds at this point. But I'm a little bit disappointed with myself because I've started to realize over time as I'm a gardener that these raised garden beds are just not quite as exciting and as beneficial as it might seem at first. So the person that really opened my eyes to this was David the Good here on YouTube. YouTube started throwing me a couple of his videos, and sure enough, he had one about raised beds, and it was a very entertaining video. And anyways, throughout the video, he made me realize that, wow, this whole raised bed thing is kind of getting out of control. It's kind of getting out of hand for what it's actually worth. Raised beds can be very good in certain situations, but there's other situations where a raised bed is just not going to be what you want. In fact, many situations are not going to be to your benefit when using a raised bed. And I fell prey to that. I did want my backyard to look aesthetically pleasing. I wanted it to look good. And I think that was a way to convince my wife, like, hey, I'm going to dig up half of the backyard here and turn them into gardens. So I made them look nice for her, and that definitely helped me start out. But now I'm realizing over time that these beds, they require a lot of water, even though we used hugelkultur methods when filling those. So we filled the bottom with charcoal, old burnt up pieces of wood, logs, sticks, branches, leaves, grass clippings. We filled it all up with that kind of stuff down on the bottom, and then we put a great application of organic soil that we got delivered to our house by the truckload, and filled that all up. Even with that, and implementing back to Eden gardening methods on top of that soil, so mulching the whole about 6 inches on top of our pathways and about 1.5 inches on top of our actual garden beds. We implemented that, and still, even though we have all of those things working for us, the hugelkultur method and the wood chips should be retaining a lot of moisture in that soil. I found that these raised beds still do require quite a bit more watering than if you were in the native soil. So what I think I'm going to be doing in the future, maybe not on this property, but our next one, I'm definitely going to be doing in-ground beds. What we'll do is we will build up rows of soil. We will get some organic soil delivered as well, but we're just going to build up the rows on top of the native soil. Maybe we'll till it up using a broad fork a little bit, and then we will begin putting all of our material over that soil, just like we did in our backyard here with the raised beds. But this time I'm getting rid of the raised beds and growing in ground. So besides the water problem, which we're getting from the raised beds, I've also found that over time, they are being a little bit more difficult to weed compared to when we first built them and first got the garden installed. And that's completely understandable. But the reason why I think it would be more beneficial to have the garden beds directly in the ground as well because of this is that I can take a stirrup hoe and just pull that stirrup hoe along my entire rows in the garden. I've just got a couple of foot spacing, maybe a 3-foot spacing for all of the rows, 2.5 feet, depending on the plant. And then that allows me to very, very quickly and effectively weed my entire garden using that stirrup hoe. While if I'm in these garden beds, one, they use up more space. There's more dead space in between them that I can't get to easily. But then with these garden beds, we've just got things so tight together. It's a lot more difficult to do a large space of weeding. You've got to get on your hands and knees and weed them anyways, compared to if I was in the ground, I could just take that stirrup hoe and literally just run right down the line and back again and back and forth, doing it very, very quickly. I've seen this illustrated on a couple of other channels, and I do like the idea. I think I'm going to implement it, especially when we get a bigger garden. Once you get above these like 9 raised beds that I have here, if you need to grow more food than that, which I would say if you've got a family of 5, realistically, you would want a bigger garden than what we have here, even though it is very big for the urban lot. It's the biggest garden out of any of my friends that I know that live in the village or town. And even at that, we're going to want more as soon as we move to the new property and start building our homestead there. So that's why I want to start getting used to these methods and familiarizing myself with them. So when we do move, I do have a plan on how to get that garden quickly producing, just like we did back here in this garden. If you don't know, we started on this property 2 years ago, and we've built we've built all of this stuff from scratch. So much has just flourished in the garden, and I'm so amazed at how much we're able to grow back here on this small lot. But we plan on expanding. We don't want to stop here. I hope you've all checked out my latest videos here. The latest one I did was on my tomatoes, about tomato cracking. That was a great one. I didn't really realize how many people were not sure why their tomatoes were cracking, and then I found a couple of posts online about people asking about it as well. And so I wanted to take the opportunity, especially since we had to pick out our tomatoes from the garden in order to prevent cracking. I was like, perfect. We're going to make a video now. So we made one on that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. I am disappointed in our potato making video that we did a couple of days ago. We tried to grow some potatoes in the backyard like we have many other years. And I think we had too hot of weather coupled with too much rain that ultimately did not allow these potatoes to fully grow and mature and flower and everything like that. So we had to harvest them out a little bit early. But I still did have conclusive results regarding that. We were trying to see how many potatoes we would grow using a free bucket that cost us nothing to fill up. We just literally dug up soil from the backyard. And then I compared that with a bucket that we filled up using fertilized soil. It's potting soil mixture and fertilizer as well. So did the comparison. The comparison was pretty conclusive still. We found that all of the potatoes, both buckets, produced the same amount of potatoes, but the free soil mixture that was made out of the topsoil, even though it had the same amount of tubers in it, those tubers were, half of them were smaller than the other half of the potting soil mixture. So we still did have, 5 big ones in there despite not having them flower. And then I think we had 4 in the topsoil mixture. But we still had the same amount of little ones in there. So that was interesting. I fully believe that if I was able to get those potatoes to grow out to full maturity, that we would have gotten the same harvest from each one because we had the same amount of tubers in that bucket for the topsoil and the potting soil mixture. So that was encouraging. I'm going to replicate it again next year and see if I can get a better harvest that time. I'll be watching for the rain a little bit better. I think it rained quite a few days in a row. We were out camping as well, and so I wasn't able to watch it during a couple of days, and I think that was finally what did it for those potatoes. Came back, and within a couple of days they were completely dried up. So at that point, once our potatoes are fully dried up, they're not going to flower anymore. They're not going to bloom or anything like that. So we've just got to harvest them. So we still made the video anyways and showed you the results. Check it out. All of these videos that we put out, I hope you find them entertaining. I want to know, I'm trying to get more feedback from you guys on what sort of content you like. If you like longer form content, short form content, let me know. Drop a like here on the channel and let me know if you enjoy the shorts content that we've been putting out. It seems like a lot of them have gotten a lot of views, but unfortunately the way YouTube shorts work is that's not going to be primarily my existing audience. So those YouTube shorts are going to be spat out by the algorithm to all different kinds of channels that I don't normally come into contact to. So they're probably none of you guys watching. But if you are a subscriber, let me know if you enjoy those YouTube shorts. I'm trying to now, every time I make a full-length video, try and either record a short form content video to go along with that, or at least post a short form content video that I recorded in the past on either the same day or the day after of that YouTube video. So trying to get a little bit in more of a rhythm here as far as that schedule goes, even though winter is going to be tough. Winter comes here in Wisconsin and all of a sudden we've hardly got anything to grow. Thankfully, what we did was we built a couple of raised beds in the basement that will be growing flowers and vegetables in over the winter. So kind of doing like the stuff that we do outside, except for on a much smaller scale down in the basement. We're going to have all sorts of experiments throughout the winter months, but I will try to be as regular, at least hoping for twice a week If we do live streams, maybe I will do one post a week on the YouTube channel as far as videos go, and then have that live stream and maybe a short or two posted in there. But really trying to get out as much content as I can. Ladies and gentlemen, we got 4 of you watching here. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what questions you have. What is on your mind? How is your day? What did you eat for breakfast, lunch, and or dinner, depending on where you are at in this world? Just get drop a comment down below. I need some comments to talk about what you guys are thinking about here today. I suppose until that, we could go through a couple of different comments that we've gotten on the channel recently. Marlene asks what kind of calcium to give to my tomatoes. This is regarding our tomato splitting video. If you're trying to get calcium to your tomatoes, the most important thing is just to go to your local garden center. Don't go to a big box store if you can avoid it. Support that local garden center and go and ask them what sort of calciums they sell. Chances are they're already going to sell a pre-made fertilizer mixture that is specifically made for tomatoes that will also have the calcium in it. It will have the calcium and the NPK ratios that your tomatoes need. But my point is to support local first, if not go over to some big box store or Amazon at that point. Oh boy. Got a siren going by. All right. Still no questions from you. Got 5 people watching, no questions. No questions at all. Let's go through some more. Let's see. Somebody's asking about the soil ingredients for the cuttings that we had from our lavender. Those cuttings were grown in a soil mixture of, I believe, 1/3 peat moss, 1/3 regular soil, and 1/3 sand. I think that was the mixture. It might be a little bit off from that, but it was very close to that. The whole point is that the peat moss sort of helps retain a little bit of moisture while still draining through, and the sand allows everything to drain through. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds for the cuttings. Cuttings also do benefit very well from having sand most of the time, no matter what kind of cutting you are growing. Having that sand in there really helps out. Somebody is asking about what kind of potting soil I use for the potato video. I just use a plain old Miracle Grow potting soil, and then I added some type of fertilizer in there as well. Nothing too specific. What kind of soil am I using on my rosemary cutting video? Does it contain peat moss? Again, on that rosemary cutting video, I think it was the same mixture. I do believe that I just used a regular potting soil, peat moss, and sand mixed together in 1/3 ratio. I typically go through that stuff in the video, but I don't have time to go and listen to the entire thing to confirm that or not. Yeah, I'd be doing that a lot. Somebody asked about overwintering the lavender. Yes, if you are below, typically, it depends on what kind of lavender. We do have Homestead lavender, which is hardy, cold hardy, up to, I believe, zone 5, possibly zone 4. You could get away with it if you're growing it next to your home. But Homestead lavender, you do not have to overwinter. But if you've got one in a pot or a container, you want to grow it throughout the winter and into the next year, you'll probably have to take that inside. If you're below a zone 7, it's definitely going to be best, especially if you've got some more ornamental lavenders, then it might even be higher than zone 7. But typically zone 7 and higher, you will leave them outside. But if you're zone 7 and less, you're going to definitely want to bring them inside for the winter. Definitely doesn't hurt if you've got the space and you've got a couple of, if you've got a regular grow light or at least a very nice open window that they can get some sunshine through. On a video where we were talking about how to prevent mold growing in your raised bed or growing in your containers, any of that stuff, or your seed starting trays, we've got a question saying, I thought it was harmful and it can lead to other things. My seeds dampened off and it was definitely not cold and wet, but hot and wet because I keep mold in the same humidity dome and tray. Okay, so when it comes to like fungi growing in our soils, both inside and outside, it's going to basically have the same sort of results, but slightly a little bit less appealing to have fungi growing in your pots indoors. Even though if I've got mushrooms growing in my pots inside, I definitely just leave them go, because that fungi is not going to be what's harming your plants, and that's not the cause of your seedlings dampening off. But what is the cause is the underlying factor that is then allowing those the fungi and mushrooms to grow in your soil. It's too wet, and it could be too hot and or too cold. You can still dampen off your seedlings. If it is too hot and too wet, you're going to have the same results. So reduce your watering schedule there with your seedlings if you keep on having them dampen off. That's most of the time going to be caused by too much water. Recently, we've gotten a lot of views on the purslane video. If you haven't checked out the purslane video, purslane is an incredible weed that tastes so nummy. It looks like a little succulent growing on the soil or growing in between cracks in the pavement, in your driveway, on the sidewalk. It's the little succulent one, but be careful because there is a look-alike that has a little bit of a red dot in the center. This is called spurge. So if you are looking for some purslane to either start growing in your garden or to start harvesting, just be aware of spurge. It has flat leaves that are not succulent-like, but the purslane has very plump, succulent-like leaves, and it does not have that red dot on them either. So that's a great way to find out exactly what it is, if it's purslane or spurge. But we got a lot of comments on that video recently. We've got a lot of people saying that they love purslane and also asking if we've done a video on lamb's quarters. Yeah, I do have lots of lamb's quarters videos sparsed within the channel. I mostly do talk about it on videos wherever I'm talking about weeding. I will bring up lamb's quarters and how delicious they are. Great to use in the meal, so it's typically considered a weed, but I would not classify it as such, to be honest. It is in the same family as spinach too, so very, very nutritional for us. We got 8 viewers. Guys, please drop a comment down in the section below if you've got any questions that we could answer for you. All it takes is one comment down below, please. We will get to you. Got the live chat opened up here, ready to go. Let's see what else. On our indoor raised garden bed, we have a comment from Digging for Health. Digging for Health, thank you so much for the comment. You had questioned, what are you using for lighting? We've got all sorts of lights down in the grow area. We've got a Spider Farmer SF600 right now. We have several other lights that we're using, and a Vivo Sun that we've got. That's one of my favorite lights as well. All kinds of Amazon lights. You definitely don't have to go out and spend hundreds of dollars on a grow light. Coffee Pearson says, hello, Ripley. I've been watching your videos for a few years. Love your content. Is it cost effective to grow veggies indoors during the winter? Pop that here. Yes. yes, it can be cost effective to grow veggies indoors during the winter. So typically your grow light is only going to cost you maybe a couple of bucks to grow every month, if that, because most of them are only drawing about 60 watts. So imagine just adding a single light bulb, some even if they're drawing 150 watts. That's really not too much power consumption out of your home for producing vegetables. You just want to make sure that you are growing the right ones. Also, will there be a houseplant update soon? Yeah, so I have a lot of videos that I still need to film for the summer months to get wrapped up here, and especially going into fall. We're going to start with basically our third or fourth crop that we're harvesting out in the garden. So our fourth planting, except for the plants that we succession planted, we've already gotten about 4 crops out of those. But we're going to be starting off our fall crops pretty soon, so I've got to do that. I've got to do a video on emptying out one of our raised beds that we filled up using hugelkultur. I'm just going to show what the logs and sticks and branches look like in that. Then we have to do an outdoor growing or outdoor tour video as well to show you that before everything starts dying back. And then I believe we will have some indoor content. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching the videos for years. I'm so glad that you love the content. One problem that we have here on the channel is that we live in Wisconsin, so it's not like I can film outside all year round until I get a good enough greenhouse, that is. One day we will fulfill that dream, but it's just not today. But that kind of drives us indoors for the winter, because winter comes and is chilly. Chilly as all heck here during the winter months. So luckily we do have the space downstairs and inside the house, as you can see behind me and right up here. We do have the space to grow lots of houseplants, and now that we added the 2 raised beds downstairs in the basement, that's another way that we're going to start growing some veggies indoors. And like you said, you were asking what sort of vegetables you could grow maybe. I've had great luck with peas downstairs. I've had great luck with radishes, with beans, with I've done carrots, and never done a full tomato plant downstairs because they take up so much space, but I have done peppers, and those also did very, very well. So you want to stick to like some smaller plants. I got away with the peas because it was an experiment that I wanted to try out. I wanted to see if I could cut peas down and then keep on growing them downstairs. Sure enough, we did it. We did get quite a few good harvests out of them as well. But peppers are something that people always grow. But what I would suggest to you is grow whatever you're going to be consuming the most of. And that way, even though it might be not the easiest thing to do at first, it is going to give you those learning experiences that you need to know and to build in your life in order to understand how to grow this plant better indoors than you did before. Through getting down in the basement and starting to grow those veggies, that's going to ultimately speed up the process in learning how to master growing them, no matter what they are. I don't care. Here's the thing. I don't care what people are growing. I don't care what people have shown online to grow as well, like what works the best, or you have to do this, you have to do that. Just grow what you're going to consume the most of and what's going to get you the most value, not just in dollar terms, but as far as value providing to your life. Understand that. And that's going to make it so much more valuable. Instead of just growing something downstairs that you're never going to eat and you don't enjoy, why do that? Just learn how to grow what you want to and start getting those valuable experiences in there as well. That's the hardest part of gardening, is just getting out and starting. But as soon as you start gardening and you start growing, that's when things start to look up. You start to learn, you start to grow, you start to build these experiences that we just got to go through. All gardens are different. There isn't a single garden out here that is exactly the same. So they all have to be treated a little bit differently, as well as we need to learn intuitively how to grow in those gardens. Should I grow bacon? Growing bacon is great. We plan on growing bacon. I mean, everybody loves bacon. when we get our new property, darn tootin', we're going to get a couple of pigs. We're going to get some goats, even though they are troublemakers. I know I had goats when I was young. They're a pain in the butt sometimes, especially if they are a little ram, a male goat. We had one that consistently butt-headed all of us as children, so that was great. It was very mean goat. So I hope I don't have any mean goats when we get them, but you know what? We'll have to deal with that bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But that's not going to stop me again. It's not going to stop me from getting goats because I understand what we were just talking about, these experiences and what they provide to us in our lives. It is so much more than monetary provision to your income, but it is also about, you know, the lifestyle that we're striving to live and how I'm really trying to leave a legacy here in this place, the short time that we've got here on the earth. You know, none of us are guaranteed tomorrow, so we might as well make this time as good as possible. And this just happens to be what I am absolutely nearly obsessed with. It is what I'm passionate about, what I find value in sharing with others. This ain't about me. If this was about me, nobody would be watching right now. If this was about me, I probably would have given up 2 years ago or 3 years ago. If this was about money, then I definitely would have stopped doing this 5 years ago. It is about something bigger than that. As we showed earlier on our website, it is definitely about something bigger than that. We're trying to build a community of driven people that are trying to grow together, trying to build a stronger community together through gardening and growing. I think that we need to go through a revolution in the gardening sphere because I just don't see as many people doing it nowadays. I mean, people used to be farmers. Just as the daily life, you had to have a farm or a garden at least to also provide to your family, and that was just a normal thing. But now we've got only a couple of % of people that are growing vegetables in their garden or growing a garden at all. So seeing numbers like that to me is honestly a little bit scary, because we all know how fragile the system can be, how fragile life can be, how emotional people are. And there's a lot of different things that could just really, really put a kink in things and how we live on a daily basis. So I want to take as much time as I can to share the good word of gardening, the good word of growing alongside nature, growing alongside God, and building a garden based off of something that's a little bit deeper than just money and than just, again, the self. It is not of the self. It is of the collective of everybody else, everybody who's continued to watch these videos and watch the channel and tune in. It is for you, absolutely 100% for you. And so I am very excited for the continuing phases that we go through in the channel and the continuous growth that we have. We are just about at 60,000 subscribers, which is such a blessing. So thankful for that. But I realized that we have to start building a community more. We have to start building returning viewers who know each other. And that's why I want to do these live streams as well, so we can connect on a different level, so you can hear more about what I have to say and my story. And I think these allow you all to connect to my passion very, very well. I am going on and on and on about why I do this, right? And what it means to me. And I don't care what sort of results we get with on this channel in the short term, right? Because I understand that because I am passionate about this, I know that a lot of people have been touched through the videos and have learned different techniques and tips and tricks on how to grow their garden better. And therefore, I truly believe that I'm helping make their life better through these videos. And that's what it's all about. So that's also why I want to start sharing more of your stories here on the channel as well. If you've got a garden or a story that you would like to share on one of these live videos in the near future. Like I said, we're going to be doing these every single week. If you've got a story to share or a garden to share, let me know. Comment. Let me know. Send me an email or check out our Contact Us form on the website, expeditionhomestead.org. We will get to those for sure. I'm so excited. We're reaching out to many different people right now to get them on the channel. We're really pushing for this community stuff to start taking off. Hi, Danny Days Homestead. Sorry I didn't say hello to you earlier. Welcome to the live stream. I will probably just close it off. If we've got any questions to ask, now would be the time to drop them. I should get some sort of a warning here. See, we've got all kinds of different stuff set up. We've got desktop, ending scene, intermission, be right back. So I've got to code these, not code them per se, but I have to get the right setups on all of these so I can have them looking nice like this one. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff like that in the future too. And so get these live streams going once a week. We're going to be adding stuff to them. Eventually we're going to be doing like live giveaways and spin the wheel. This Streamlabs has all sorts of cool features that we will be enabling here. So hope to see you all every single week at Thursday at shooting for 5 o'clock, maybe 5:30 every Thursday. If we don't have any questions here from you all, what we will be doing is checking out for the day. I'm going to give it a little bit because there is a lag here. Hey, Cream Pie Lars. By the way, your comment was held for review. That's why it did not show up on the chat. So, yeah, there's that. That is why it didn't show up. All right. Anybody got any questions? With that being said, I want to thank you all. I hope you set a calendar event or something on your phone. Let you know. I will also try and figure out how to do posts notifying you of future live streams and scheduling them here using Streamlabs. See if we can get that figured out. Otherwise, we'll plan on doing next week at 5 or 5:30. Yeah, I want to thank you all so much for tuning into the live stream. Usually, this is like right at the point where I would get a bunch of comments just as I'm about to go. That happened last time. Somebody had shared the live stream with a couple of different people, and all of a sudden I had like 20 people on there. There, Digging for Health is tuned in here. Welcome. Hello, Digging for Health. How is your garden going today? We were just about to end it, but I will definitely stay in and answer some questions. I came in at the end. Yeah, that's okay. We will keep on going. We'll see if you have any questions or would like to talk about anything. Comment it down in the section below. I'm open for joining or keeping going for another 20-25 minutes or maybe longer if we get some more engagement down in the comment section. This is why we want to have some guests on these live streams as well, so we can be sharing their story with you all at the same time. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. All of the different interactions that you can give here on these live streams and on the videos help out with the YouTube algorithm. They let YouTube know that you guys are enjoying the content, and it will also allow you to get more access to our videos because YouTube digs through all of those 480 plus videos that we have on the channel here, and it will show you what it thinks is going to be beneficial to you in your garden. I'm hoping that over time the algorithm gets so good that it is able to show people the right videos as far as the seasons go as well. So we'll see how that goes. What are my favorite fall season vegetables to grow? Kohlrabi, beets, carrots, radishes, and turnips. I know that's a lot, but that is definitely my favorite. Kohlrabi and beets and radishes, if I had to pick my top three. And if I were to section those down even further, I would say number one is beets. I love beets. Number two would probably have to be kohlrabi, and then number three would be the radishes, even though I am a fiend for radishes as well. All the root crops, absolutely love them. We will also, you can also grow brassicas and lettuces and different stuff like that too. So there's all kinds of plants you can grow pretty late in the season. We are a zone 5B, and even for us, I am just about ready to start sowing seeds for all of those vegetable crops here. So if you are in a warmer climate, you will wait a little bit longer because right now it is pretty hot still, so it's hard to get those seedlings to grow in the first place. And if they do, it is also very difficult to keep enough moisture on them to where they don't keel over and die outside in the hot, blistering sun. But a lot of people don't know that they can grow many different vegetables in seasons. You can succession plant your spring crops. So by the time summer comes along, you've already gotten maybe 3 harvests out of your radishes, beets, your cold hardy crops. What we did specifically for our radishes this year is we did not thin them out. We just let them grow. And as they grew and matured, all we would do is pick out the ones that were totally ready to harvest, and then we would let the other smaller ones that were kind of smothered out at that point, we let them continue grow as a succession planting, and it was wildly successful. It did so well that I'm thinking of just doing that every year, like just sprinkling some radish seeds all around and then harvesting as they're ready and just leave the other ones keep on going. And because we got all in all probably about 4 different harvests out of that, maybe even 5. In fact, I'm still harvesting some beets right now at this point using that method. And typically, though, if you planted a couple of succession plantings of that spring crop, then you move into summer, you can grow your 60-day hot weather, your warm weather crops like your beans, your tomatoes, your too late for peas. Beans, tomatoes is usually what I grow, but there's all kinds of them that you can grow during the summer months as well. Different squashes you can start later in the summer also. And then by the time those are ready, right now we've got beans, radishes, beets, and okra growing in our summer garden. Those will be ready to harvest very soon. And then we'll clear out that bed, till in the organic material that has been growing through that garden. And then we will start our fall crops. I will hope to have a large fall garden this year. Yes, we've always kept it small, but we're going big this year. Awesome. Good for you, Digging for Health. Go big or go home. Apart from succulent propagations, have you delved into growing hydroponic veggies? Yes, way back on the channel, maybe 3 or 4 years. You know what? If you just go and type online, search aquaponics or hydroponics Expedition Homestead, or Aquaponics Expedition Homestead. Otherwise, maybe we can just do that right here. Yeah, good idea. Get rid of this 5-minute timer. We're here on our channel. So our aquaponics right here. Make sure we're sharing our desktop. Yep, we are. Okay. Aquaponics. Got them. We have not only this incredible tour that we took with Port Fish right in Port Washington, Wisconsin. That was a great video on the aquaponics they have set up there. But we also grew different vegetables, onions. I believe these were broccoli, peas, peppers. We grew succulents there. And then I think that might be just about it. So the reason why we didn't continue with this is because we were in the process of moving to our new home. So we lived in a condo, which we made videos in for a couple of years. Then we transitioned to this property that we're at now. But in the meantime, we were living with my wife's parents for a couple of months, moving all this stuff over. COVID was hitting, and it was just like a crazy time. So we did not continue growing with these in preparation of moving. But I've got to get some more aquaponics beds and hydroponic beds growing downstairs because I love it. I think it's a great, fun way to grow, fun way to experiment with the plants also. And it is quite sustainable as well. Growing with an aquaponics or hydroponic center can reduce the amount of water that is needed by quite a bit. So we're just going to check out this video here. So back when I had long hair, if you don't know it, go back on that channel. Mr. Green Thumb King had long hair. But this little aquaponics bed that we had set up was pretty simple. We just had the little growing pots, and then we had the pebbles, the clay pebbles there. We grew succulents, brassicas, peppers, all kinds of fun stuff. I was pretty new with the channel at this point, so we were just trying to get as much content as we could out no matter where we were at. So like I said before, we had a lot of videos where we were in the apartment, or the condo, excuse me, growing as well. So we just did what we could, and we've been continuing to do whatever we can to show you our story and to bring you all the cool different things that we're doing in the garden and what we're implementing. Do you have fish in your aquaponics system, or do you use liquid fertilizer? So that is the distinguishing factor between aquaponics and hydroponics. So if I was not growing with fish, that would be a hydroponics center or a hydroponics system. But if I'm growing with fish, then that is an aquaponics. So we were growing aquaponically with a couple of goldfish and a pleco. So we did not get perch or tilapia or anything like that at that point because I was still experimenting, which again is why we want to start building one again in the future, so we can have that here in the garden and bring a more diverse content base to you once again. Even though I would say we've got more stuff going on in the garden now than we ever have by far. We've got a ton of stuff going on, but I do want to implement aquaponics because I love growing aquaponically. I think it's a lot of fun. Got a few more minutes here. If anybody's got any comments, we've got 8 people watching, 9 people watching, and 4 likes. Do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button if you are new or existing to the channel. If you've subscribed, thank you so much. Hit that thumbs up button and comment down below. We're going to get to a couple of final questions if you all have any, and then I've got to go for the day. Give a few more minutes. Love that you did it with goldfish on such a small scale. Absolutely. It is all about utilizing what we have, not going out and spending a ton of money, because I know most of us, myself included, I don't just have a ton of money laying around that I can go and spend it on all of these projects that I want to complete around the house. So therefore I am resourceful and do a little bit of research online and find out exactly what I can do with what I have to implement the different projects here on the channel for you and to grow and build your passion for growing. Alrighty, we're going to check out for the day. I want to thank you all so much for tuning into the channel. Check out our live stream next week between 5 or 5:30, hopefully. I will send a notification on our community tab. You've got to be subscribed to the channel to get that community post, so please do that now. Check out all of our other great videos. Drop comments on those videos if you have any questions, or if you would like to just check in with me so we can have a little bit of a chat. Digging for health, absolutely glad I caught you. Thank you so much for tuning in the channel. I've been seeing all of your other comments too. Very, very grateful for all the comments. I feel so blessed to have them on the channel, so the more the merrier. Well, that's it for today. Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's episode and the live